Congratulations, you've discovered the lost level.
Hey guys, and welcome to episode 77 of The Lost Level. I'm Adam.
And I'm Alex.
And I'm Chris.
Chris, you're so stupid.
Sorry.
I think we can all agree on that, though.
I was checking the levels as we were talking.
The lost levels?
The lost levels.
Oh, okay.
The levels look good, so
Were they found?
We're good to go. They are now found,
Okay,
yeah.
good.
What are we talking about this episode?
Levels.
Yeah. Wow, this is a whole train wreck already. This week's episode, we're going to be talking about Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare, as well as the...
You didn't mess that up like we all expected.
I know. I didn't even look at it either. Like, I wrote it down just to make sure I wouldn't mess it up, and I said it right. Garden Warfare. And then we're also going to be talking about the news in games and movies.
Sweet.
So, why don't we start off with Garden Warfare?
Very deep story to this game.
Yes.
I was surprised. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's these zombies, right? And they're attacking. So there's these plants that are trying to stop the zombies.
See, the zombies have girlfriends, and they're looking for like flowers and stuff to bring to their girlfriends.
So is it like warm bodies?
It's kind of like warm bodies, but then all these flowers turn against the zombies and start murdering them in the face.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Freaking flowers, man.
Seriously,
Such dicks.
it's like an M. Night Shyamalan happening. Oh wait, did I spoil that?
I think M. Night Shyamalan spoiled that.
All right, so that wasn't too soon. That's fine. Okay, yeah, the gameplay. It's a multiplayer only. There's no single player.
There's a single player, but it's not really like.
Is there a single player?
There's like a bot thing kind of going on for the single player. So it's pretty much like the multiplayer, but yeah.
It's kind of like Call of Duty, and then they also have like a horde mode, like from Gears of War, where you're basically protecting your garden against waves of zombies.
Yeah, it's not an incredibly deep game by any means, but it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's perfect before Titanfall comes out. I think if this game would have came out after Titanfall, it would have suffered a little bit.
Oh god, definitely.
But this is a good $40 game that comes out a couple weeks before. Something to like wet your whistle, so to speak, in terms of your multiplayer on the next generation consoles. Because the only multiplayer that a lot of people have been playing is Battlefield 4.
Battlefield 4 and Call of Duty Ghost, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, how many people... Well, I guess a lot of people are probably playing Ghosts, but most people are probably playing Battlefield 4.
Yeah, I think you definitely see that shift in the...
Everybody I've talked to is just not excited about Ghosts.
Well, like I said earlier, it was on sale for $40, and it's still like...
Nah.
Meh. And here I bought Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare for $40. So, I mean, I guess that just goes to show you that the Call of Duty thing is just kind of old, and I'm looking for something new, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the same way. I haven't picked up Call of Duty this year, and it's the first one that I actually didn't pick up since, I want to say, Call of Duty 4. Because I got them every year, and then starting with like Modern Warfare 3, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to get the next one. And I still did. But Ghost was actually the first one that I haven't picked up since 4.
Man, I was pretty hardcore into like the Modern Warfare storyline. I really liked that. So like I always bought them just for the single player. Never really played the multiplayer aspects to it, but I enjoyed the single player to it.
Yeah, they really have good campaigns.
So this is the first one I haven't bought either with Ghosts, but I didn't really have that much interest in it. And I know I'm not going to play the multiplayer, so I kind of just waited on that one. And this game was coming out, Plants vs. Zombies. I liked the game, on the iOS, played the hell out of that,
yeah.
The tower defense portions of it. And then they said, well, this is going to kind of be like a horde mode, and this is going to be like Call of Duty. I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
Let's give it a try. And we had sat down, played it for a while, and I really don't have anything negative to say about it.
There's a few gripes here and there. Like I feel rounds are a little too short, and the time between rounds, the waiting period in the lobby is also a little too long as well.
Yeah,
you're playing up to 50 kills.
Yeah,
I mean, you did that standardly in Call of Duty, didn't you?
I don't know. I didn't keep count. But I think
I know Battlefield, that's what I've been playing multiplayer mostly now, and if you do TDM, it's 100 kills.
It's 100 kills?
Yeah, so it doesn't go by as quickly.
I feel like 75 would be like the sweet spot, almost.
I guess because the maps are relatively small, you're in close quarters a lot of the time, so a lot of the kills happen really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess you're right in terms of the 50 kills. If they bumped it up to 75, it might last a little bit longer. I don't really mind the lobby. It's not too bad. It gives you the opportunity to buy these card packs.
The stickers.
That gives you basically a whole bunch of different variety of things inside game. Character creation stuff.
Yeah,
and unlocking some stuff.
Some are purely cosmetic, just make your character look different, but some you can actually unlock, I don't want to say new abilities, but altered abilities. They pack more punch, but last not as long, or what have you. Just it kind of changes the character up just a little bit in certain aspects, but the powers themselves stay relatively the same, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, for the most part. And then there's also perks too when you're playing that horde mode or that defense mode, that if you buy like the cheaper packs, they'll give you the ability to, there's potted areas where you can add stuff to your pots, and you only have a limited number of stuff to do with that. So you can buy these card packs. It gives you more opportunities to buy some of those things, and that definitely helps you out. I think that this was a major thing that could have easily been like a microtransaction thing that we kind of talked about last week regarding it. I kind of like that it's not microtransaction. You have to play the game in order to get enough points, and it's not that hard to get enough points.
No, not at all. I mean, it's really easy to get at least 1,000 coins per round, and I mean, even the largest pack is only 40,000 coins.
Mm-hmm. And that's like for super rare cards or stickers.
That's super rare. That those unlock like the enhance the altered characters with the different abilities.
Right.
So I mean, you're really saving up for those. Otherwise, packs cost 2,000, 4,000. I mean,
I think the cheapest pack is actually 1,000.
Yeah.
And you get 1,000 per round, essentially. So, like, you can at least get one pack per round if you wanted to do it that way. Or you can save up for the most expensive pack, like what Alex just said, is 40,000.
Yeah.
And we played it here before the podcast, and we were getting, we didn't take us that long to get up to 10,000 points.
Yeah.
Oh, 20,000, actually.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't take us very long to do that, and we got a couple of the sticker packs, and it's just fun. I mean, I don't mind that. It gives that long time in the lobby gives the opportunity to get some more packs.
I also like it. It doesn't feel as competitive as you would get from a Battlefield 4 or Call of Duty Ghosts. Like
I don't know, man, because when Adam was playing it, he all of a sudden gets Tourette's and starts swearing at the screen.
Well, that's just Adam, though. Like,
if you see me play anything multiplayer, I instantly develop Tourette syndrome. Like sailor mouth like nobody's business. It's just every other word's a swear.
I'm just glad you're not like one of those people who throws shit.
No.
Like you're playing the game at my house, and all of a sudden that controller
Your
goes flying.
controller's shattered.
Yeah, like
goes right
lodged
through the
into
TV.
the TV. Yeah. No, I have good self-control over that. It's just the vocalizations that they just kind of pop out.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, in the same respect, I mean this is an E-rated game, so this is something you think parents would get for the kids because it's not super ultra violent. So I mean, you can imagine a 10-year-old playing this game, and it's not going to get like super involved, being like, "Oh my god!"
You just deterred half of the people who were interested in playing this game because 10-year-olds are going to be playing this. Like,
nah,
great,
dude,
I'm going to be.
No, they're not like that. They're not like being little dickbags about it. I mean, I played it a good amount since this came out, and I haven't really run across anybody that was like, "Oh, this guy's a jerk." Like, I mean, I think everyone's really cool because it's Plants vs. Zombies. Like, no one's taking it ultra seriously. You're not going to get like huge competitive plays with this game. This isn't going to be like tournament style stuff where people can win money.
I guess I can kind of agree, and we have played a decent amount today, and I wasn't called any racial slurs or anything like that. So I mean, that's cool.
At least not by anybody else, just me.
Yeah, you do that all the time for some reason. It's really bad. We have to talk about that off the cast, actually.
Okay.
But yeah, it's good. I enjoyed. I have fun with it. I think the colors in it are great. It's a different thing that you're used to in your
Really
multiplayers.
good lighting. I mean, PopCap actually spent some decent time and effort into this, which is, I mean, their first, kind of dive into this caliber of a game it's really impressive, actually.
Yeah, it is. I mean, they devoted a lot of time to making challenges for each of the different classes that you are. Either your plants, you're obviously zombies. You have different classes within those, which are kind of your traditional multiplayer classes.
Yeah.
When you break it down, you have your medic, you have your your bigger guys.
Brute.
Yeah, you have all that stuff. So it's developed. It's not exactly like making new groundbreaking stuff, but it's taking what's already existed in multiplayer and just has fun with it.
Yeah.
So like, I enjoyed it. I like the different colors. Like I said, like the colors, the vibrant colors really stood out to me, as opposed to like what we're used to like multiplayer games. Your dull grays,
everything's camouflage.
Everything's muddied and just like gritty and just like, we're mean, we're soldiers, and it's like plants, zombies. Here's a butterfly for you.
That's pretty much what the commercial for the game should be.
Exactly.
Me
I think
doing that?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I'll take that paycheck, thank you.
Right. So, what else do you guys want to say about it?
This is definitely, it's smart that they put this $40 game. It's definitely not a $60 game. I mean, there's not a huge amount to offer. It's very basic multiplayer. It's not incredibly deep, but they put depth where they can with the different classes and variety of those classes as well.
Mm-hmm.
With customization and everything like that. But it's definitely not a $60 game, and so I think they were smart about the pricing as far as that's concerned. So I mean, yeah, I could see it worth being $40. I mean, it may be a little steep for some people. I mean, I don't see it appealing to everybody at that amount, but I think they did a good job with it.
Yeah, it's definitely a good game. I'm going to be that person that's going to say I don't personally think it's worth $40. I would say closer to $20 or $30, just because it's a fun game, but to me it's a distraction from actual multiplayers that are either already out there or coming, like Titanfall. I mean, once Titanfall comes out, nobody's going to be playing Plants vs. Zombies. So it seems, it's mean to say, but it's just a distraction before the big one comes out.
Yeah, but for the current gen, we're still kind of hurting for titles, I feel.
Yeah.
I mean, that's good.
Well, yeah, for sure. I mean,
It's
I'm not
going
trying to detract from the quality.
It's going to hold me over for those couple weeks until Titanfall comes out. So,
okay. For me personally, I think the price point is perfect. I don't mind the $40 price point. I think that PopCap developed or took a lot of time and finesse into this game that it deserves the $40 price point. I think that I have fun with it. And I think that this is the type of multiplayer that I'll enjoy, where it's not that typical military Call of Duty or Battlefield where I'm just getting shot in the head as I respawn. It's like, this sucks.
You still really love Titanfall, though. So
I did love Titanfall,
I guarantee
but we
once that
talked
comes
about
out,
that because Titanfall gives players who are not as good at multiplayer games the opportunity to still do stuff that they feel like they've accomplished something, as opposed to like the Call of Duty or the Battlefields, where if you don't put in the time to get better at those games, you're not going to see the rewards or the benefit of playing this game. Because if you're like a gamer who only could develop or take the time to do 1 or 2 hours a week on gaming, you're never going to be good at those games compared to anybody else who's playing those games 30, 40 hours a week, and you're just going to get annihilated, and that's just not fun. I think Titanfall kind of understands that, gives those type of gamers the opportunity to still do stuff that feel like the level of accomplishment. I think that even Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare is doing that a little bit in terms of it's spaced out enough. It's kind of like it's not that gritty, hardcore multiplayer game that you're just going to get frustrated with. This one you can kind of kick back on the couch.
it's fun and campy.
It's fun and campy to the point where you're not going to get frustrated like this just sucks and you rage quit. I like that aspect to it. So the game is more probably leaning towards something that I would be into versus what Adam or Alex might be doing, because they dedicate a lot of time to those multiplayer games. So if you're a casual gamer, I would definitely recommend checking this out.
Fair enough, yeah.
All right, moving on to gaming news. The first story that we have is Last of Us. The DLC adds new difficulty.
Yeah, there's one more DLC planned for The Last of Us. Unfortunately, there's not really a whole lot of single-player content. It's mostly going to be multiplayer content.
Mm-hmm.
But what the DLC is adding is a new difficulty level, which Naughty Dog hasn't specifically specified, I should say, what that's going to consist of. But me personally, having played the game a few times through and having beaten it on the hardest difficulty setting, I'm really interested to see what they're doing with it. Is it just going to be like insta-kill or permadeath? Who knows? But as a fan...
Permadeath would be brutal.
Yeah.
In a 15-hour game, that'd be brutal.
Yeah, it really would.
Well, they did that for... Oh, it wasn't permadeath, but it was it's Dead Space.
Dead Space 3
where
had
you
it,
only
yeah.
had like 3 or 5 saves throughout the whole game.
That was Dead Space 2 hardcore mode was 3 saves, I believe.
Yeah.
And then Dead Space 3 was actually permadeath.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, you had as many saves as you want, but if you died, you were dead. Yeah. So, well, back to The Last of Us. The last DLC pack for the game is scheduled for sometime in March, I believe. And yeah, a bunch of multiplayer stuff, which I personally don't really care about because I didn't love the multiplayer.
I'm kind of curious as to how many people are playing The Last of Us multiplayer.
It's got a surprisingly good following. I've got some friends that I see playing it at least semi-regularly on my friends list. Yeah, so it's still by no means an Uncharted multiplayer, but people are drawn to it just because of the crafting, I guess, or the story that's tied to the multiplayer itself.
Maybe just people are hungry for something different in multiplayer, so they're trying something else as opposed to, like, I keep on mentioning Call of Duty and Battlefield, but those are the two most popular.
Those are the go-tos, yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm interested in that. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm not like you, Adam, in terms of playing games multiple times, especially like Last of Us. I mean, that game is just so heavy as it is. I don't know if I can go back to it right now and go through it just on a different difficulty.
Well, it's been such a long period of time since at least I played the single player.
How many times have you played the single player throughout?
3.
You played it 3 times.
Yeah, I really loved it.
You are in the minority in that regard. I don't think many people have played it more than once.
I haven't played many games more than 3 times.
Yeah, there's only I can count on one hand probably how many games I've played 3 or 4 times.
Well, I found enough variety in it with the different difficulty settings that I got a kick out of it, man. I mean, especially going to the hardest difficulty where you no longer had that like super hearing. It felt much more realistic. You couldn't see people through walls with your ears, and there was a lot less supplies to pick up and craft things. So it was much more stressful, but in
a fun way.
In a fun way, yeah. It was cool because the enemies weren't necessarily a whole lot more difficult. It's just you didn't have a lot of supplies, and you couldn't, once again, see through walls. So you had to be much more patient.
You're that glutton for punishment type of gamer, though. You're the Dark Souls gamer. I am not.
Yeah.
So that does not appeal to me at all whatsoever. But you can play those games, so the new difficulty is exciting for you.
I'm assuming it's going to be a harder difficulty. It could be like Super
Maybe it's
Cakewalk easy.
Yeah.
I guess that's true.
Like, take no damage, have fun.
Yeah. Throwing rocks at people kills them.
This is for Chris.
Yeah.
Ouch. But yeah, that'd be pretty funny actually. Like, here's a rock, throw it at somebody and they die.
Clickers give you hugs.
Wow. But no. Okay, so Adam's interested in that. I'm not. I don't know. I don't really care necessarily. I still won't drop $15 on the DLC. I'll wait for that to go on sale sometime.
Well, I mean, if you have the season pass that came out in June, you get that as part of it. So that was $20 back in the day.
That's true. All right, why don't we move on and talk about this Twitch Pokemon thing, because I don't understand it very well. So, Alex, take it away.
This has been described to you like 7 times.
I
It
don't
has been,
understand
and I
it,
still
honestly.
don't grasp the concept of this.
Okay, so for those who are uninformed, Twitch is a web service where you get to watch other people play video games.
Right.
Pokemon.
I understand that aspect to it.
Do you know what Pokemon is?
I understand. We talked about the Pokemons in
The
previous
Pokemon,
podcasts.
okay, is a game where you are Ash Ketchum and you catch 150 Pokemons.
Okay.
So Twitch Plays Pokemon is essentially millions of people get on Twitch at the same time and play the very same game of Pokemon at the same time, putting in commands.
But
to
who's
make
saying the commands?
everybody, millions of people?
So
at
you have
time.
1 million people shouting at the same.
Essentially, that was the case. Yes, and it was fucking chaos to begin with.
Yeah, doesn't that sound like fun?
Until they put in a voting system for the next move.
Okay, so like everybody has their million games exactly the same spot as everybody else.
Yes.
One person says the command saying, "All right, catch this Pokemon," so everybody catches that Pokemon.
As long as enough people vote to catch the Pokemons.
And then during battles, I guess they have to do
They chose the
everybody
it's a
does the
group
same
effort
exact
to
move.
choose the commands of whether they want to use Surf or I don't know. It's been a long time since I played Pokemon, so I don't remember all the
Who
moves.
does
but
that? God, that would be
Water
so
Blast?
tedious
Is that
to
one?
do.
It took 16 days to beat the game. So
It was played continuously for those 16 days across the whole world. Listen, I didn't really watch it. I just went on Imgur and Reddit and saw what everyone else was posting. And so I just remember seeing posts where Australia was like, "You left us in the safari zone. What's wrong with you, North America?" and stuff like that. But
Did they take breaks? Did like say like, hey, a million people out of a million people, I'm sure somebody has to go to the bathroom.
well, yeah, of
Yeah,
course, but everyone's playing at the same time, so it's just the group effort. You log off whenever you want, but there's still
Then you just have to catch up.
999,000.
you're misunderstanding it, Chris.
999
It's not people playing the same game in multiple instances. It's one game being emulated, and a million people are inputting commands into it. So imagine a million people playing one Game Boy.
That's essentially it. And the button press that gets the most
Votes.
essentially is the one that's chosen.
Okay, so
So-
then I can like play 8 hours of it, log off, and then when I come back, it's on a different spot because the other
'Cause,
players
yes,
took over.
Essentially, that's the case.
Okay, so I didn't have to sit there for 16 days myself.
No.
No.
It transferred. It was North America playing, and once those people went to sleep, it was Australians playing.
Okay,
And once those people went to sleep, it was, freaking England.
well that makes more
So,
sense.
Yeah. So essentially, it took 16 days for the whole world to beat Pokemon as a group effort, even with 4chan getting in there and just screwing shit up because that's what 4chan
Anarchy,
does.
yeah.
Is that what they were doing? Seriously?
Oh yeah, they tried to release like some of the highest level Pokemon. They were just spamming votes to like, oh, here's our level 50 Pokemon that we're just going to release into the wild, and like they almost did that for like 3 really high level Pokemon. I think they actually succeeded for a few. I don't know. I didn't follow it that closely, but 4chan they're the assholes of the internet. I kind of love them for it.
God, I don't know. That doesn't sound fun to me. But
It was basically just a
Is it?
social experiment
Yeah.
and it worked.
in gaming.
Oh, God.
16 days, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
And-
talk about it everywhere. I think like combing through game news this week, or even through Imgur, or like the other sites that I visit on
I was
a
actually
regular
corrected
basis.
on that by a coworker. She's like, "No, it's pronounced Imgur. There's only 2 syllables. It's not Imager. It's Imgur."
I guess
And
that's
I'm like-
true. Yeah,
But anyways, I digress.
like technically you're right. Yes, it's Imgur. Regardless, yeah, it's everywhere. Everywhere I looked, it's this and Flappy Bird still all over the damn place. I still don't understand that damn thing.
Got into triple digits. Just
Apparently, I saw a video online of someone who almost beat it, and when they got to the end, the piranha plants started popping out of the pipes.
no, really.
And at the very end, freaking Mario pops out of the pipe and starts shooting fireballs at them and kills them.
That's made up, dude.
That's what I said.
Possibly, I don't know.
I agreed with that. Like I thought that was bullshit myself.
Okay, part of me suspects the same, but I don't know. They were at like 999 pipes or whatever.
Yeah.
And then Mario pops out and starts shooting fireballs at them.
That sounds like something that, like, you and your... Not specifically you, but, like...
No, it was probably me.
Like, us as third graders would tell our friend about a game because that's what seems like...
It's like that myth at the
Yeah.
end. And Mario comes out with one of the fucking pipes and
like
destroys
being
your
able to
face.
play Luigi in Mario 64. Remember all the rumors how to do that?
Yeah.
I tried that. It never worked.
To do which now?
Play as Luigi in Mario 64.
Oh, I do remember that myth.
Yeah.
I do remember that. Yeah, but like...
Poor Luigi.
I don't even know what we got. Oh, yeah, Flappy Birds.
Well, Pokemon.
Yeah, we were talking about Pokemon, then we went to Flappy Birds. Dude, yeah. Okay. Do we have anything else to say about Twitch Plays Pokemon? I kind of understand it now. I guess it's not as in-depth as I thought it was. I really thought it was like a million people like taking each move on their own individual game.
No, it was not like long-distance chess, dude.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. Like, that's how it kind of... I felt like it seemed like to me. So, okay. That's cool.
I guess. If you're into the Pokemons.
Yeah. I mean, you are, aren't you? Don't you collect them all?
No, I think I only caught like 120 something of the first iteration, then I gave up, and I never played any of the other iterations because I grew up.
Oh, fair enough.
No offense to the people who do still like enjoying it. I mean, I understand the appeal, but I mean, I'm an original person. There's only 151 for me.
All right. Why don't we move on?
Cool. Next thing we're going to talk about is something we actually discussed in the previous podcast.
Yeah.
I think Konami has, probably Kojima himself, has become a listener to The Lost Level and heard us decrying the price of Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes.
Because it was stupid.
It was. So it was originally going to be $40 for the physical copy on PS4 and Xbox One, and it's been lowered to $30, the same price as the digital copy, which is awesome because it's going to be a 2-hour game.
It's still too expensive to me, but...
Well, I mean, it's going to have some good replay value, man, and there's going to be some exploration. You can stretch out that 2 hours into, whatever.
I think
2.5.
I think about how many times I played Metal Gear Solid 2, actually. It's one of the few games that I played more than once.
Yeah.
I think I played it like maybe 6 or 7 times because I was collecting all the dog tags.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there is replay value in the Metal Gear Solid series.
Absolutely, man. I mean, there's replay value in a good demo, even. I remember back in the day on PS2, I got the demo for Metal Gear Solid 2, and I played the friggin' shit out of that game. That demo, I should say. I played that probably more than I actually played Metal Gear Solid 2 itself.
Well, people are hungry for this. I mean, you're right. They're probably going to play the shit out of this, too.
Yeah.
And if you think of how many Easter eggs Kojima puts in his games as well, I mean,
Yeah.
there's going to be a lot of fun little things to do in it.
Different ways of playing the game, of course. You can Rambo it out and kill everybody, or sneak around and, lay prone for an hour while a guard walks past you.
I remember watching my friend play Metal Gear Solid 3, and he got the shotgun, and it just stopped being a stealth game from that instant on. It was anarchy.
Yeah.
And it was great.
That's the beauty of a game like that, where it doesn't have to be stealth. You're going to get your ass kicked if you start going guns blazing, but it's still going to be fun.
That's true. So, yeah, it's lowered, thank God.
I feel like I'm more inclined to buy it for $30.
Definitely. I mean,
which is weird because I bought Garden Warfare for $40, but whatever. I digress.
But Garden Warfare is longer than 2-hour gameplay,
That's
though.
true.
Let's not kid ourselves. It's going to cost, actually, what?
$30.
$29.99.
$29.99 on
sir.
PS3 and
Let's call
360
it
at
what it
retail. Well, those versions will cost $20 on the PlayStation Store and the Xbox Game Store.
For last gen, yeah.
Right.
But for current gen, so Xbox One and PS4, the versions you should be playing, they'll be $30.
With the higher frame rates and better visuals.
Yeah, but I mean, if you still want to get the experience, you can still get it for $20.
That's true.
You can.
If you
haven't upgraded to,
Right.
if you're not an early adopter, I should say.
Right. And I mean, maybe this is a system seller for some people, and maybe it isn't. Well, I guess we'll find out.
Well, I wouldn't.
When the full game comes out, that'll be more of a
Phantom
system
Pain.
seller. Yeah.
And quickly, the Telltale Walking Dead Season 2, Episode 2 is going to hit this week.
Yeah, this Tuesday. So, I know I'll be playing it day one just to find out what happens to Clementine.
Yeah, I need to get back to it. I haven't played season 2 yet because my season 1 got wiped, so I need to go through season 1 and now go back to season 2. But I've been playing Wolf Among Us like that. Like, the second it comes out, I'm like, yes. Love the hell out of that series.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that comes out this week. Moving on to movie news. First story that we have is Aaron Paul might be making a return to the spin-off Better Call Saul.
Better Call Saul.
Yep.
Because it rhymes that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because it's talks of it being a prequel mixed with a sequel. You know, so the fact that
we basically just don't know. I
Yeah.
mean, we don't know what they're trying to incorporate into it. A lot of the talk is prequel, obviously, but there could very well be a lot of flash forwards in terms of what happens to Jesse, because last time we saw him,
He's just driving away.
yeah, we don't know too much about it, and it's kind of like left to our imagination, which is good. I kind of like that aspect to it. So if Aaron returns, he does, and if he doesn't, he doesn't. You know, we'll see.
yeah, it's always good to see that character though. He's a fun character.
Yeah, Jesse is. I mean, that he's always going to be known as him. Probably not his Need for Speed character, I would say. But he's the hot man.
It's going to be Oscar worthy.
Need for Speed?
Yeah,
It could be. We'll see.
I think it's pretty much guaranteed.
It's not going to be any.
I wish we could like flash forward to like our best of 2014 episode where it's like Adam's like Need for Speed was really fucking good. It's my top 3 movies.
Who knows? It might be.
If it has a Wolverine camo, it very well could be.
Yes.
We'll see. There's a new Matrix trilogy on the way.
Supposedly.
What is this?
Yeah. Wachowski brothers are
Siblings.
Wachowski siblings, yes. Thank you for that correction, because that's freaking weird. There's rumors that they gave out a script, or a treatment for a script for a new Matrix trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
Because,
Those are the only good movies they made. Actually, the first one's the only
first one that wasn't really written by them.
It wasn't written by them.
Was the good one. And then there was the other two where we were like, okay, we get it. It's all like existential and what's existence, and okay, just show us Neo fighting people, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
So
they
more
banked off
existentialism in a digital world. Cool. It's probably going to be visually stunning. I mean, they always had that down pat.
Yeah.
are they kind of like M. Night? The siblings now, where like they hit a home run on their first attempt, and like everything since then, it's kind of been like.
I'm going to say definitely yes if Jupiter Ascending sucks. Which it doesn't really have me all that excited. Like, I saw the new trailer, and I was like, all right, Mila Kunis, and then there's Elf, G.I. Joe. It's like,
The only reason that I was ever interested in it because A, like Mila Kunis, and then B, we work in downtown Chicago where they were filming some of the scenes.
Yeah.
And we were just looking outside the window at night, watching them film some of it, and like that was kind of cool.
Yeah, having the guy hang from a helicopter was pretty neat.
Yeah, so they're like doing flybys against the Willis
Sears
Tower,
The
aka Sears Tower. And that was kind of cool aspect to it. So that got me interested. Like, oh, okay, I kind of want to see that on film, the finished product of that. But that's the only reason.
Yeah.
It's not because it's like, oh, the siblings come out with a new movie. Fuck yeah.
There's going to be a cameo of you and me standing in a window.
Yeah.
As,
I mean, there possibly could be.
As Mila Kunis flies by.
Right. We don't know. Maybe. Doubtful.
Fingers crossed.
But yeah, this new movie that's coming out, or the new trilogy that they're talking about like how the Matrix was created and all that other stuff. So
it's like an origin story.
Kind of, I guess it's like an origin story. So you will most likely won't see the original. Yeah, you won't see the original people, which is
it's fine.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't want to see. I think that story's done, man. I mean, they went Jesus on that one. You can't really, you
Once
can't
go
really
full
go
Jesus. You can't go back. There's nowhere else to go from there.
So they're saying that the studio wants the first movie to be ready by 2017.
Oh, he doesn't play any time to fuck it up.
Speaking of sequels, Sin City sequel finished filming.
Yes.
A Dame to Kill For. Finally, this movie is going to be coming out.
It seems like it's been forever.
And like when the first one came out, you're like, yes, let's move on. Let's do the next movie right away.
There was talks of a sequel like when it was still in theaters.
Yeah.
So it's been it's been a long time coming. To say the
What
least.
years was that? That was a while ago.
That was early 2000s then.
At least 8 years, probably 9.
Wow, that's crazy. And then there's new pictures of Jessica Alba. She still looks pretty dang good.
Yeah. Good for her. Good for us.
Good for us. But
Everyone wins in that scenario.
So they finally finished filming for that. Now they just got to go into all the crazy post-production. And
That's going to take longer than the filming because it's all CG work.
when is this supposed to be scheduled to come out? Next year?
I would imagine next year.
At the very earliest, I'd say.
Yeah, because there's a lot of work to go into this one now. But we shall see. Warner's is actually planning a live-action Minecraft movie.
Wait, it's live action?
It is live action.
That's so fucking bizarre for some reason. Like, oh, not for some reason. It's bizarre because it makes sense as a 3D animated movie.
Yeah, and they're looking for Shia LaBeouf as the main lead.
Wait, seriously?
No.
Okay, because I know I linked the articles. I didn't really read them because I was at work and I have other things to do.
Right. No.
He's quit acting. Thank God.
No, Warner Brothers has acquired the film rights for the popular video game Minecraft with plans of a live-action adaptation, which makes no freaking sense
It makes
to me.
the littlest sense of all video games to make a movie up above.
Right.
Okay, it made sense for me. It made sense if it was a 3D animated film because Minecraft is basically Legos in a video game realm. You know, build whatever you want, and they just came off Lego Movie, which was extremely successful and so good, as we talked about previous podcasts.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, this makes kind of sense. It kind of has that same feel behind it, the same idea behind Legos. Is what Minecraft has, so it made sense for me in that aspect. But now hearing it's live action, I'm like, but what?
It makes no sense because of the fact that like Minecraft has its look. I mean, that is essentially like part of Minecraft.
Like
you know that look
Yeah.
of Minecraft when you think about it. For them to like try to make that live action, like, what's the story? Like, what are they going with? Like, it's kind of like,
What are the creepers going to look like?
yeah,
They
it
don't
doesn't
look like
make
creepers.
any sense whatsoever for that to be like. I thought it was just a story like, okay, they're trying to tie into like as you just mentioned, the Lego success and stuff like that. Like, okay, well, we can do a Minecraft version of that. People love Minecraft; they'll watch the shit out of that. And then all of a sudden, I read a little bit further in the story and like live action adaptation. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So that's interesting. That will never be made.
Oh god.
If
If it's made, it will not be live action.
no,
It's-
there's no
it's-
possible way for this will be a live action movie.
There are way better video game movies to be made out there.
This kind of it kind of falls into like the Uncharted thing where they're like trying to put Robert De Niro and making like a family and like totally just deterring from the Uncharted type of feel for it. Like, did you guys even play these games? And that's how I kind of feel with Warner's. It's like, hey, Minecraft's really popular. Let's just run with that. Someone write a script, and there's going to be a giant spider in it or something. But
third act.
yeah. So who knows? Speaking of movies that also shouldn't be made, Independence Day 2 is going to be coming out, and Jeff Goldblum is probably going to be attached. No Will Smith, but they got Jeff.
You know what? I like Jeff Goldblum more than I like Will Smith. So
Yeah.
this is actually a plus in my book for this movie.
You need both of them back. You really do.
No.
I don't think so.
They kind of they formed their bond towards the end of the first movie, but it wasn't like a huge bromance.
Right, but we're so beyond the point of cashing in on the success of ID4 at this point, where it's like if you're trying to resurrect this dead horse, you need everything back in place you can't have like one of the actors. It's kind of like one of the stories that we're going to talk about a little bit later in the podcast.
Okay.
You can't do that. It just doesn't make much sense. It's like, just okay, if you're only going to get half of them, let's just let it go. Let's just keep it in development hell and not move forward with this and say, all right, let's cut our losses. Because this has been talked about for how many freaking years now? Independence Day
was longer than it's been talked about for a Sin City sequel.
Right, like 96, 97 maybe?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a long time ago now.
Very long.
So let's let it go. If you're not going to have Will, I mean, even Jeff Goldblum coming back, it doesn't make much sense to me.
I watched that man in anything, though.
Yeah, I love Jeff. I mean, he's amazing, but I just don't want to see another Independence Day movie. Moving on, well, I guess let's talk about that right now. Harold Ramis passed away.
That is a great loss for the film and comedy industry.
Absolutely.
Stunning. Like, I heard that news in the morning, like, holy crap, are you serious? He's my childhood. I mean, he's had so much success in a lot of the movies that I used to love, and like Groundhog's Day and
Caddyshack.
I mean, there's so much great stuff by Harold. He's one of the large reasons comedy's at where it's at. I mean, it evolved the way that it is because of the way that he did everything back in the early 80s. Tragic loss. And for some reason, this is like what I was mentioning, they're continuing on with Ghostbusters 3.
Right.
It's undergoing another script rewrite now. So, I mean, if there's a movie that belongs in the doomed folder, it's
like you didn't have Bill Murray. Once Bill Murray like didn't want to commit to this movie, and they were still moving forward with it, I was like, no, that's no. And then all of a sudden, the passing of Harold Ramis, and they're still moving forward on with this movie. What are
you got Dan Aykroyd and
Ernie Hudson?
Yeah.
But, like, okay, I understand that they want to try to reinvigorate the series and maybe even had the originals as cameos, so to speak, and having them
hand off the reins
to somebody. We saw that happen in Indiana Jones 4. It doesn't work so well, necessarily. It's a great franchise for when it was, and let's just move on and create new franchises.
Leave it with 2 great movies and call it a day.
Right. You did that with Indy. You did that with the new Die Hard movie. You know, they obviously like, all right, Bruce Willis is getting older in age. Let's see if his son could take over. And they incorporate the son into it, and it was just an absolute disaster. I feel like that's what they're trying to do here with Ghostbusters. We haven't seen it succeed yet. Why would they do that with this? And now with Harold's passing, it's just like, it makes no freaking sense, man.
No.
So that's a really huge disappointment for me personally. But like Harold Ramis, like, what do you think your favorite movie was?
Mine would probably be Ghostbusters, the original Ghostbusters.
I'm gonna say Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2. I kind of bundled them together because I remember watching them as a kid, and Ghostbusters 2 specifically was one of the first times I remember being scared in a movie, even though it was a comedy. There's that scene where they're in the underground tunnel with the ghost train.
Yes.
There's like these dead bodies in there, and then the ghost
head
train
on the spikes.
Yeah, it scared the crap out of me as a kid, and I still remember that. And I always found the painting creepy as all shit, man.
Oh, for part 2?
Yeah, Vigo something or other. What was his name?
Vigo
Mortensen?
the Destroyer.
Yeah, they're just.
Did you see
classic
Mortensen? You jerk.
You know what? Honestly, for me too, it's probably Ghostbusters. I mean, that was a large part of my childhood. I was at the proper age when that came out to really enjoy Ghostbusters, and I wouldn't say that like it shaped my childhood. Obviously, there was a lot more things that did, but it was a large contribution to like what I used to watch, and I loved the shit out of Ghostbusters. I didn't get all the jokes, obviously.
Yeah,
but
because it wasn't aimed at kids, but kids still loved it, which is why it spawned an awesome cartoon.
The real Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
the real Ghostbusters is amazing.
I know,
dude. I still miss Ecto Cooler.
Ecto Cooler was awesome. I was about to mention that because I immediately think the real Ghostbusters is like Ecto Cooler.
Yeah.
You had to have your ecto cooler as you're watching the real Ghostbusters as a kid.
True story.
Oh man. Anything else you guys want to talk about, Harold?
He's gonna be missed, man.
Yeah, definitely.
He impacted the industry in a very positive way, and hopefully people remember that.
Yeah, I'm just kind of surprised how little I knew they actually did. I was like, oh, he did this as well? Like, I didn't realize.
He directed and wrote a lot, man.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, Jesus Christ, this guy was influential more than I ever imagined.
Yep.
So it's just, I really started feeling a loss at that point when I realized how much he actually did. So it's like, Jesus.
Yeah, he contributed to all those great comedies back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Even recently, I mean, I think, I don't know specifically the last movie he worked on, but he did Analyze That, or Analyze This. I don't know if he did both of them.
those.
Did he? Okay.
Yeah.
Those were, at least the first one was a
First
funny
one
movie to me.
was really good, yeah.
I mean, he's got a body of work. Let's just put it that way. He's got a big old body of work, and
Yeah, like for directing, I think, again, I was at the right age with Groundhog Day.
yeah.
I mean, he directed Groundhog Day, and God,
Well, that's a modern classic, literally. I mean, you put that up in the top 25 modern classics, and it just belongs there.
yeah, he wrote so many great movies like Analyze This, just a lot.
Caddyshack, National Lampoon's Vacation. I mean, the list goes on.
Yeah, like looking at the IMDb for him, it's like, geez, I used to love that movie, love that movie, love that movie. God, love that movie.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Rounding out the podcast, a new poster for the Falcon and Winter Soldier. You added to the stories. Did you have anything that you wanted to say about it, Alex?
No, it's kind of a cool looking costume. I like it. I mean, you're getting these kind of esoteric superheroes in on the groups, and it's like you're kind of seeing the treatment that Marvel's doing with it. And you're like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm liking this. This is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Let's roll.
And the outfit looks believable.
Yeah.
It's
not like campy or anything. It's kind of like hardcore and just like it fits with the universe
It's
that
modernized.
they've been creating. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't mind it. Like, I was worried when they announced that Falcon was going to be in it, and I'm like, all right, well, how are they going to do that? Like, I'm kind of curious to see how they're going to do the wings and the flight suit and all that stuff. And
it's like a jetpack with wings, basically.
yeah, I mean that's essentially what it is, but it's pretty badass. Like, I like the character look. I want to say that, like, I am super excited for the Winter Soldier.
Oh yeah.
I think it's gonna be great, man.
Like, I liked Captain America. Didn't love it as much as you guys did. Obviously, we've talked about that to death in previous podcasts.
Mhm.
But I am stoked for the Winter Soldier, man. Like, everything I've seen from it, I'm in. I'm like, I'm ready, man. Like, Robert Redford, hell yeah. So stoked, man. Cannot wait for that. Almost as stoked as I am for the new Fantastic Four reboot.
You're a dummy. I know you're kidding, but still you're a dummy.
Oh, that's still being made. Yeah, the news is that's still being made. All right, that's the show this week. So how can we reach everybody?
Well, you can follow me on Twitter. My name there is Alex Sandberg, AlexSanberg, or you can email me directly at the website, alex@lostlevel.com. What about you, Adam?
I'm also on Twitter. You can follow me on there. It's my handle on there is Adam Howlett, spelled AtomHowlett. And then you can email me directly at the site. It's going to be adamhowlett@lostlevel.com. This time, it's spelled ADAMHOWLETT. And Chris,
I do hate that yours is ATOM.
somebody took Adam, okay, dude? It just
Because I went to link you to something today because I tweeted from the Lost Level page, and I was like, why can't I find Adam? I know he's on this. And, like, I had to look it up, like, ATOM, duh. I hate that. So annoying. So, yeah, Adam's Twitter handle is ATOM. Make sure that you don't make that mistake that I did today. As I mentioned, we also have a Twitter page. Alex and I have been pretty active on that lately, so follow us on that if you like it. We add some stories on there, give us some news and our insights and our little bit of dry wit, sarcastic humor to it. So enjoy that. It's twitter.com/thelostlevel. I have a personal Twitter that I promise to start actually using again going forward. It's twitter.com/.
It's going to be more than duck face pictures.
I don't know about that. We'll see.
Okay.
Just selfies. Just duck face selfies.
Just ducks. That was my plan. I was going to do duck face selfies just to piss everybody off. But it's twitter.com/calmintensity. We are on Facebook, facebook.com/lost level. Like us on there. We're going to add some exclusive stuff to that. Stories, hopefully, and just our insight again on some stuff. So like us on there if you like some exclusive content. We are on iTunes. We can get all your podcasts on there. They're free. You should check them out. Also, give us some reviews. Give us some stars on all this stuff. We'd really appreciate it. We're going to be asking some questions on Twitter and Facebook, getting your insight on stuff, trying to find out getting some feedback on what you like about the show, getting some feedback on some of the stories. Harold Ramis passed away. What was your favorite movie from him? We want to interact with you guys as much as possible. We'd really appreciate if you guys give us some feedback and some criticism and just join into the community. Let's start a great community with each other and just start talking. For Alex and Adam, this is Chris. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Bye.